Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we are back with another brand new video. Today's video we are here once again with a new episode of the Rangers Roundup series. Now, just in case you haven't seen the Rangers Roundup before, we basically just take all the Rangers news and we round it up. It's all in the name, really. That's the kind of creativity you find on this channel right here, ladies and gentlemen. That reminds me, just in case you are new around here, or even if you're a regular viewer, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, it's right down there. It's free, doesn't cost you a penny, and it just helps us on our way towards 55 freaking K. So if you could be a part of it, that would be absolutely tremendous. But as it's been a couple of days since the last upload, let's just dive right into story number one. And story number one might just be the story that we all need right frickin' now, because let's be fair, we know it's the international break. I'm sure you guys are like me, you're absolutely bored to tears, absolute tears, waiting for the real football to come back. But this story right here, story number one, might just pick us all up from the floor and give us something to sing about into the weekend. And you can already tell by that deliciously clickbaity title, it's about Jermaine the frickin' Defoe. That's right, he's been spending his international break curing all our sadness by confirming several times for Sky Sports. He'd done it on a talk show as well, calling in, confirming that he would like to stay at Rangers after this season. Now granted, there's been whispers, there's been rumours since he pretty much signed on the dotted line for that 18th-month loan deal for Bournemouth that he'd be staying at the Glasgow Rangers. There's always been that whisper, and based on his performances, I think as a fan base like last season, we all wanted him to stay. I mean, Bournemouth had a recall clause during the summer, we all didn't want that to happen, and obviously they've got one in January if they see fit to as well to call him back, and we all don't want him to leave. But it's never been confirmed how Jermaine Defoe actually feels here at the football club. Does he see his future elsewhere? Does he want to go back to the Premier League? Does he want to go elsewhere and make a hell of a lot of moolah? Or does he want to stay here and play for Rangers? Well, as we've already talked about in today's video, he's answered it himself. He spent this international break confirming he wants to stay here, and his quote, by the way, it's a very long and lengthy interview, as you can imagine, so we're just going to condense it, but I think this sums it up perfect. And he starts with, "I'm loving it, do 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 do." He didn't say the do 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 part, I just done the McDonald. Anyway, he goes, "I've 100% fallen in love with the club. It's an amazing club. I feel blessed. I'd love to finish my career here." So Jermaine Defoe is quite clearly in on staying for Rangers, but how does the gaffer feel about it? Well, he's answered a couple of questions this week as well, and this is what the gaffer has had to say. "If he stays in the form he's in, of course I want him to stay around here for as long as possible. It's definitely something that's on all our minds as a staff and a club." And when questioned about a potential player-coach role for Jermaine Defoe, this is what Gerrard had to say as well on this, which I find very interesting. He went, "Possibly, we are certainly open to that side of Jermaine Defoe." And we're going to stop the quote there, but Gerrard went on to speak for the rest of the interview, talking about how much of a positive influence Defoe is and how he carries himself and how the younger players, or even players that's been around the game, is learning from a model professional like Jermaine Defoe. And it's been great for around the dressing room for the academy kids to see this kind of talent and professionalism at the football club. So it's very, very obvious to me, reading into what Gerrard's been saying here, he badly want him to stay. So with everything that's been said over the last couple of days, it certainly looks as if Jermaine Defoe will be signing a permanent deal with Rangers at some point. But I'm here to ask you, should it happen? Can't believe I just said that, but I am trying to be very, very balanced in today's video. You all know how much I love Jermaine Defoe, and what he's doing this season is nothing short of incredible. It's never been seen before in the Scottish game. The numbers and the goals per minutes that he is putting up in the Scottish Premier League has never ever been close to being replicated. I mean, you look at it, he's got 9 goals in 353 minutes, which averages out as a goal every 39 freaking minutes. But we've heard that stat before. I've said it on this channel a couple of times now in the last couple of days. How's his overall season and all competitions going? Well, I'm here to tell you that he has played 14 games. He has 12 goals under his belt, with only 632 minutes played, averaging a goal every 52 minutes. The man's absolutely a joke. But the biggest joke is on every single person who doubted this man when we announced his signing. If you go back in that video, there was fans from other teams laughing at the fact that we signed a man of his age. Conor has been saying, "We have signed this guy, we've signed this guy." Everyone poked fun at Rangers signing this guy. Well, do you know what Jermaine Defoe has done since he's laced up the boots for the Glasgow Rangers? He has done nothing but score goals and teabag every single person who's doubted him. And as we've just said, that's a lot of goals, so that's a lot of teabagging, you know what I'm saying? But let's take a sidestep away from the stats and the numbers and think about just the player, because again, the numbers could just be inflating and he could be struggling behind the scenes and barely getting through it, and maybe at his age we shouldn't be touching a deal like that. Well, Gerrard has kind of slapped that down as well by saying that he is still the same guy he met all those years ago for England. He still trains and plays and approaches the game the exact same way. There's nothing changed about him, and I was very interested in hearing that from Gerrard. And something else that he said, which I really rate, by the way, is he said that Jermaine Defoe is the first one into training every single morning and the last one to leave. He's never lost the joy for training and playing games. He's still got that hunger, he's still got that desire, and that is why they're so keen on keeping him. And that to me is just as important as the goals that he's scoring every single weekend. To know that behind the scenes he's still as hungry as he was when he was 23, 24 years old. He's not just here for one last wage like a couple of the older players we had signed over the last couple of years. I mean, there's a long list. We've got a bad taste in our mouth, but to know that Jermaine Defoe is the exact opposite and he's still hungry and he wants to win things for us just makes me love the idea of signing this man on a permanent even more. But there is one thing we need to bring up and discuss, and that is the moolah, and Jermaine Defoe is on a lot of it. Now, yes, he's been here for a long time, but Bournemouth is playing a large majority of his wages while he's been at the football club, and if he was to sign here on a permanent, let's just say in what he's on right now in the old English BPL money, he's going to have to take a pretty impressive wage cut. And I know that's going to be a major stumbling block for so many people in today's video. Hell, how many Rangers roundups have we done on this channel, and we've always talked about the money and says this is never ever gonna happen, and usually it doesn't. But this one I'm not worried about at all. I believe Jermaine Defoe when he says he's fallen in love with the football club and he wants to see himself retiring playing for Rangers. I believe him when he says that, and I think he will take that impressive wage cut from the old BPL moolah. And with that being said, that's going to be the end of story number 1. Now I hand the reins over to you guys. Dive into the comments and share your opinions on Jermaine Defoe. Do you want him at the football club next frickin' season? Usually this is the part where I give you my opinion while you guys share it and we jump over to Twitter. Well, we're just going to jump over to Twitter because you all know I love the guy. I want him to stay. I've said it since day one. We were linked with the guy. I hoped and prayed it would happen. We've got him here. I didn't ever want him to leave. So let's just jump to Twitter. There's been 1,591 votes. Thank you so much for getting involved. And I simply asked them the same question as I asked you guys. Do you want to see Rangers sign Jermaine Defoe? 97% of the people votes for yes. Teamstar writes in, not the real one, I don't think. Definitely, class striker, want him till he retires. Gareth writes in, outstanding professional and stays humble. Hashtag still better than Eddie. Baldy Barisic loyal writes in, has to be a no-brainer. Surely get him in as a coach once he retires as well. Molly writes in, yeah, he showed that just because he's older doesn't mean he won't score any goals. James Smith writes in, he's fit, sharp, good on the ball, reads the game well. You tell me who can take that man's place. Ewan McKenzie simply writes in, yes. Pistol 7892, OG of the channel, simply writes in, absolutely, it's a no-brainer. I think he's worked wonders with Morelos already. He's a great guy to have about the club, and not only has he been a great influence on Morelos, you can already see their partnership and how they get on, but I think the fact that when teams now play Rangers, they've got to plan for two different Rangers teams. You've got the Rangers team with Morelos up, it's so physical and backs to the wall that you're going to have to get close to him and know you can give him an inch. But on the flip side of that, they've also then got to prepare for the Rangers with Jermaine Defoe, who likes to get the ball at the feet, clever movement, and he's always drifting and he's interchanging with the wingers and midfield players. And I think the fact that we have two players of complete different play styles is very underrated about our football club. And I love what Gerrard does, how sometimes he surprises teams, and I think that is why we're seeing so many positive results, because teams are having to split their attention span now and focus on two different ways of playing, simply because we have two great strikers at the football club. And the last one we'll read out in tonight's video comes from Mike G, and he writes in, absolutely, guys, class on and off the pitch, and can only be a good thing to keep him around longer. He's obviously loving his time here, and his experience will help others as well. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You've heard from the people about Jermaine Defoe. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. But now it's time to dive over and speak about story number 2. Now, story number 2 is going to be a lot shorter than story number 1. Don't worry, I won't take up all of your day, but it's the latest and breaking news coming out of the football club, and that is that we have finally replaced Mark Allen as the director of football. And the man that's going to fill that Mark Allen void is Mr. Ross Wilson. I almost said Ross Watson there for a second, the OG of the channels will get that one, but Ross has left his job at Southampton to take up the role at Rangers. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't know too much about the guy. I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be in the same boat, but I've spent the last couple of days trying to find out as much information as I can about the guy, reading up on him, reading what fans think about him, etc, etc. And something I found very interesting is the fact that before we appointed Mark Allen, we went to Ross. We wanted Ross. He was our first target. He was number 1 on the old chart, and he said nah. So we hired Mark Allen. Now Mark Allen's gone. Now we went back to Ross. Now he said yes. I love a simple tale. But he's clarified why he said no the last time, and yes now it's because it didn't feel like it was the right time for him to come here and do the job. It feels like he's in a place and the club's in a place now where it perfectly meshes and we can grow and go forward. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of the whole director of football kind of stuff. You already know if you've watched this channel for a long time. I like it old school, you know what I mean? You've got a manager and a chairman and you've got the staff underneath the manager. I like that, but all this messy like director of football and you've got the manager, who's in charge, who's staying what, I didn't like it, but it worked well with Mark Allen and Gerrard, so I'm hoping this works exactly the same and we just continue to get better. Now, I did mention the fact I have looked at the fans' reaction to see and try and gauge what kind of man that we are getting, the kind of talent that we're bringing in to the football club, and I don't want to be saying this, but the reaction to him leaving was met with great cheers. It was like that scene for Annie. Remember when they pretend they're all sad, and then as soon as they're out the door, they're all doing parties and that? That's kind of what it seems like on social media on the Southampton side. But at the end of the day, that could just be sour grapes, and he could just be being bitter because he's left the football club. You never ever know. But again, he's been brought in for a reason, and again, we've been after him for so long, so he must have something about the lad. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's story number 1 and story number 2 wrapped up in a neat little bow. Hopefully you've enjoyed this week's Rangers Roundup. I will keep you updated if any other news drops the rest of the week. Before we wrap up though, I need to give a special mention to the legends on the Patreon's account. I cannot thank you guys enough. If you would like to support the channel, link for that as always down there in the description below. And I've been CJ Novo 992. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.